Good afternoon and welcome to yet another episode of Crime Page Botany Dozen. Today I was coming to you from beautiful Brooks County, Texas. And by beautiful, I mean it's about 95 degrees with the humidity of a nutsack wrapped in skin-tight vinyl. Okay, that being said, we got some real nice plants here just growing right next to the road. Okay, got to botanize on the road because there's no public land in Texas unless you're in the east. Okay, you can see this is where Border Patrol drives their vehicles, kind of like a pedophile in a kidnapper van, or maybe an ice cream truck slowly around. They actually just stopped me, but they were nice. I just want to make sure I wasn't smuggling people or drugs. Anyway, I want to start off with this oak right here. Got a nice species of Quercus. Now we're on the Texas Sandsheet. Oh, look, you got a monarch hanging out there. Now we're on the Texas Sandsheet, okay? So these are sand deposits. They're what you call aeolian deposits, just meaning they're wind blown. And these were blown west from the Gulf, from the Atlantic, from the beaches of the Atlantic Ocean, which are only about maybe an hour's drive that way, okay? You can see this, the leaves on the species. Now oaks can be very variable, okay? Most of the species can be extremely variable in leaf shape, so you can't really go by leaf shape alone. And of course, you got multiple galls, okay, from insects that lay their eggs in the branches there, the branches and the shoots. Now this plant right here, this is a species of sunflower, okay. This is Helianthus praecox. This is a Texas endemic, and if you look at the base of those ligules right there, you can see they're clawed. Maybe that's not the best one. When you say clawed petals or clawed ligules, you just basically what that means is just that they get the ligules or the petals. In this case, it's ligules, because remember we got our own specific terminology since we're dealing with sunflowers here, members of the sunflower family. Just means that they get narrow at the base. They taper at the base, so it kind of looks like a paddle. Okay, kind of hard to see here unless you peel these back. Oh, there you go. See how narrow those ligules get? There's the leaves for you. Look at this speckling on the stem. Almost looks like poison hemlock. Okay, poison hemlock, which is in the carrot family, and it's it's an invasive plant, poison hemlock in North America. But I digress. That's the plant that killed Socrates. Okay, they forced him to drink some poison hemlock, and poison hemlock gets that speckling on the stem. When I first met this species, that was what struck me. Okay, the clawed ligules, and then of course that speckling on the stem. And like most sunflowers, it's got the very scabbard leaves right there. Scabbard like sandpaper. Okay? It's enough to get some seed of this guy. Tiny seeds in there. Okay, it makes you wonder how the Russians bred these fucking things to produce, the mealy-ass seeds that, you see all, if you're working for the railroad, you see them spit all over the floor of the locomotive. Okay, along with the bags of chew spit and the cans and whatever. Anyway, here's a species of Croton. Euphorbiaceae is the family. Now, Texas has a lot of species of Croton, okay? A fucking lot, all right? They all kind of generally look the same, just variations in the same theme of very velvety leaves. I mean, this feels like a piece of toilet paper, okay? They're in the Euphorbiaceae, the poinsettia family, but they look different than Euphorbia, which is another very speciose, that is species-rich genus in the family Euphorbiaceae. They're different because they have actual flowers instead of, not to diminish the cyathea, but, Euphorbia, of course, has a cyathium, okay, which is a bunch of really simplified, reduced flowers, no petals, but they're all aggregated together in a structure that makes it look like a single flower. It's a cyathium is a type of pseudanthium, okay, which is just an aggregate of flowers meant to look like one. Okay, whereas Croton actually has its own, you could see those stamens. Croton actually has its own flowers, like that's an individual flower. Whereas on a Euphorbia, each single thing that looks like a stamen is actually a single male flower. You can see, look, this guy's been hanging out for a while. You see that little spider in there? See the little crab spider? Oh, now he just moved. Okay, now stepping into the bush over here, and I treated my pants with the damn permethrin. Okay, because we're in sugar country now, boyo, okay? You'll come out, you won't even know. This fucking thing's, I swear to God, okay? You go into the bush, shit like this with all the invasive grasses. I believe it's mostly, actually I can't tell what grass it is, but there's a lot of invasive grasses in South Texas, all right? You go into the bush with this, you come out 6 hours later, you'll just be covered in itchy welts. Okay, I'll take ticks over chiggers any day. All right, the ticks at least give you a chance. Not so with the chiggers. Down here we got, well, two interesting plants. This is Paleofoxia hookeriana, okay? This is an annual. It's a really cool plant, because Paleofoxia, you know, you get a couple in California too. They're mostly annuals, okay, as is this guy. Now this one isn't too tall, but some of these fucking things can get 7 feet tall, just covered in pink flowers. Okay, pretty glandular. Look at the glands, huh? Look at all the glands on the stem. Do you see those? Oh, that's a showy bastard. And then of course you go inside and you got, look at it, you can see the brown anther tubes and the fucking styles coming out. This thing needs to be grown more. Okay, collect seed of that. It's hard though, because it's endemic to the sandsheet. See, you got the sandy soil down there, all right? So I've heard it's relatively hard to grow. You know, you can germinate them, but they're not going to keep seeding themselves. And down here we got just the good old Sphaerosia, okay? Might be one of the Texas Sandsheet endemics. You get a lot of endemic plants on the Texas Sandsheet. The TexasSandsheet.com, all right? Really cool geology there. And it's notable because it's, you know, all these plants you only find on the sand. You go a couple miles north where there's no more sand and they taper off. They're not there. Now over here, we got a member of the orange family, the Rutaceae, okay? And I noticed that when I got up close and I seen those leaves, you could see like they're covered in kind of that waxy sheen, okay? They're covered in it's really smooth and glabrous, and then when you touch it, it smells. I mean, they got those pungent volatiles that so many members of the Rutaceae have. Okay, both citrus themselves, and then, you know, you go to like Boronia. Okay, that's a genus in Australia. Boronia's a Rutaceae member. Okay, it stinks. I think it smells great, but once you smell it, that's a big indicator. Okay, but this is, you know, you got these the xanthoxylon. Oh yeah, look at it. You got the pellucid oil glands. It's another oh my god, I could smell it right now. See the little dots in the leaves right there? Oil glands, pellucid oil glands. It's a synapomorphy for a lot of members of this family, the Rutaceae. You get them in the subtropics and the tropics. You even get a couple up in the higher latitudes like Telea, P-T-E-L-E-A, but you know, they're mostly subtropical and tropical. And then down here, we got a good old Eriogonum, a good old buckwheat, which, remember, you know, you're gonna see buckwheats, and it's a very xeric adapted genus. They're adapted to the arid climates. Okay, now you get a little bit too much rain east of the Rockies. Well, not east of the Rockies, but the further east you go, you get more humidity. The further east you go on the continent, you get more humidity, you get more rain. The Eriogonums taper off. Okay. But in rocky escarpments and rock outcrops and on very sandy soil, which drains very fast and dries out quickly, you're going to get some Eriogonums. This one's notable for, look at those leaves. It's a tall growing one. It's not like one of the matted, you know, sace-patose bastards you get in alpine habitats out west or, you know, in rock escarpments. It's a more coralline one. It gets taller, but it's got the kind of clasping leaves, and they're covered in the fucking wool. The stem's covered in that wool too. Strygos hairs, you know, even I would say they're more than strygos. They're longer. It looks like somebody was brushing my dog off on this guy. All right. And there's another one over there. Okay, another cool helianthus. Look at all the fucking oaks. Look at all that. Okay, only on the sandsheet. Okay. And of course, those mycorrhizal bastards. They need that fungal associate in the soil. You get another cool species of sunflower around here called Helianthus argophyllus, the silverleaf sunflower. Now here's a member, it's kind of bent down over here, kind of fell over. Here's a member of the cotton family, Malvaceae, okay? Almost, you know, almost looks like a Buddleia in terms of the inflorescence. A bunch of little flowers all together, and almost looks like a verticillaster, but it's not. It's in the Malvaceae. Of course, Buddleias in Scrophulariaceae, and it would have... if it was Buddleia, it'd have opposite leaves. Anyway, this is Waltheria indica, and it's you know, pretty common in disturbed areas. I guess it's considered a native here, but you get it, you know, you get it a lot in Central America. You know, it's kind of a weedy species all over the globe in subtropical areas. Okay, you can see the little flowers right there. You know, barely, you know, 2 or 3 millimeters in diameter. Okay, of course it's got The quite hirsute, quite woolly foliage. Kind of feels like, you know, like another piece of toilet paper in case you need to wipe your ass. I'm really against wiping your ass, though. Okay, I think it's gross. I prefer a bidet. All right, just get a water bottle. Even if you're on the road, fill it with water. I mean, if you had shit on your arm or something, would you just wipe it off with a piece of paper? You know, would you just smear it into your fucking TP is uncivilized, man. Get some water, wash that shit. Okay, wash your ass, all right? If you take one PSA away from today's episode, just wash your ass or get a bidet. It's like 25 bucks on a fucking air. What are you waiting for? All right, this is not a paid sponsorship either, okay? It's just a PSA in the interest of hygiene. So anyway, there's Waltheria indica. Not much else to say about that. Kind of a weedy member of the Malvaceae, considered a native here. But it does like disturbed areas, and it likes the dry sand. It likes the fast-draining dry areas too, like the Texas Sandsheet. Okay, I gotta make this quick because I'm trespassing right now, and they don't take too kindly to that in Texas. They're fucking nuts about it here. So, at least in South Texas, maybe you can charm them. I've done that before. You could charm them once they catch you, but I'd rather not be put in that position. So, in the interest of avoiding arrest, we'll make this quick. This is a wonderful species of sunflower, Helianthus argophyllus, the silverleaf sunflower. Of course, it's an annual. Okay, it grows real fast, produces a ton of seed. Some of them over there are about 14 feet tall, and then it dies. Okay, argophyllus, that's easy. Silver leaf, you could see why it's called that, and the leaves that are still alive are just covered in that dense layer of wool. And that actually, if you're growing this in too mild of a climate, this will be problematic because the plants just rot. I grew these in Oakland, nice maritime climate, okay, only a couple miles from those cold ocean currents off the Pacific, and it just barely got hot enough for this to grow, okay? You water it at the wrong time of day at night when it's cool, the thing will just rot. So that's what happened to me. They got kind of big, and then they just I was making sure no one's rolling up on me. They just fucking wilted, okay? But if you put it in sandy soil and it gets enough heat, they'll do fine, okay? Look at it. You still got the flowers going off right there. Look at that involucre. Look at all the hairs on it. Look, you got a nice bumblebee up there. This is a wonderful plant, and again, it's another sandsheet. I don't know if it's endemic, but there's a lot of them on the Texas sandsheet, and they really like it here. There's that other Helianthus, that praecox right there. So anyway, you could see on an argophyllus there, they get quite, the ones I grew got like that big. I had a patch in an area that didn't get enough light. The soil was kind of had mulch around it. That'll kill these for sure, and they died. I had another patch that I grew from seed, put them in kind of fast draining sand, full sun. And even in Oakland, even though it was, it's relatively mild climate, doesn't get that hot, they still did fine. So I'll be getting seed off them. The seed, okay, you call them a sunflower, but that seed, look how tiny the seed is. See that? It's not, it's not what you think of as sunflower seed. Kind of makes you respect the Russians for breeding these fucking things. Of course, not this species, but Helianthus annuus. For breeding them and getting them as big, the weird-ass variations that you get. Step over here. Oh, look at a nice clematis. Okay, ranunculaceae. There's all the seeds of that clematis. Okay, I really don't want to. There's another ambrosia, another species of ambrosia with the male flowers at the top of the spike and the female flowers right there at the base of the spike. Really weird. Anyway, oh, there we go. Look at that. Just full glory right there. Full glory money shot of the Helianthus argophyllus. Certainly one of my favorite species of sunflower here. Okay. I mean, maybe in all of North America. I mean, it's a real stunner. It's a real stunning bastard. Making full use of the low latitudes at which it grows. The full sun, and again, the sand. Look at the sand. We got the fucking sand down here. Huh? You like the sandy bags, huh? You like it if I kick you in the sandy dick? Okay, maybe we could do that for each other. Huh? Wouldn't you like that? Okay, look at the wool. Look at the wool. Look at all the hairs and the wools and shit. Okay? There you go. Helianthus argophyllus. Okay, if you don't know, you need to know. Of course, the disc florets are all black. I really would love to see this grown out. A friend of mine owns a nursery in Tucson. I gave him a bunch of seed last year, and they're doing fine. They like the heat. They like the sand. Okay, they like the extremes. They can tolerate the dryness. I wonder how deep the roots go. Anyway, there you go. Helianthus argophyllus, the silverleaf sunflower. My hands still smell like that xanthoxylon, that rutaceae. Hey, thanks for doing diplomacy for me. Huh? That's what I tell people. You're my lawyer, okay? Okay, so moving on down the road, you can see we got more of that Helianthus praecox, the Texas endemic. We got some Croton. This one's a Croton linheimeri. Oh, look at that. Look at that nice. Look at that flower. Look at that flower. Okay. Male right there. Female right there. Okay, again with the woolly leaves. Okay, but notice the inflorescence structure is a lot different from that one I just showed you, that Croton corii. Okay? Okay, we got Cyperus odoratus. Yeah, whatever. The fucking. Eventually I'll get into them. Over here, this one's interesting. Okay? Member of the Boraginaceae. Almost looks like a convolvulus from the morning glory family, but it's not. It's in a Boraginaceae. And many species in this genus conduct C4 photosynthesis, okay? Which is, you know, a lot of grasses do that. It's an adaptation to hot and dry conditions, but it's pretty complicated to get into right here. Just know that most plants are C3, use the C3 photosynthetic pathway, but then a lot of grasses and, you know, quite a few other angiosperms, flowering plants, use the C4 photosynthetic pathway, and that's an adaptation to the hot and dry. There you go. You could see the calyx right there. This plant is a Euploca. Okay, formerly in the genus Heliotropium. It's related to Heliotropium, but it's a different lineage. Okay, so, you know, picture a phylogenetic tree, which all you fuckers should know about, at least if you're watching this channel. At least have an inkling of what it is. At least know the word exists. Looking at a phylogenetic tree, Heliotropium went one way and Euploca went another. They diverge. Two separate lineages, but you go, you know, relatively recently back, they were related. They diverged from a common ancestor, okay? This is Euploca racemosa. Okay, and you can see, like all the plants I'm showing you now, it's got hairs on it, okay? Strigos hairs are pressed to the leaves. Look at it, okay? An adaptation to the hot and dry, because it gets fucking hot here. It gets very humid too, but it's very hot, okay? I mean, the fucking winter here is not even cold. I think it rained once in the 80s. Okay, but aside from, snowed once in the 80s. Rains more. They get like 22 inches of rain per year average, but it snowed, I think, in the 80s. But aside, or maybe it just froze. I don't fucking know. Either way, the point is, it's real fucking hot and dry. Feels like a nutsack wrapped in skin-tight vinyl right now. Okay, in early October. Euploca racemosa. Okay, this species is especially only really you see on the Texas Sandsheet. Okay, that nice Texas sandy soil. Those aeolian deposits from west. Over here we got the from out east. Over here we got the got more of the Paleophoxia. You can see they're finishing up. Okay, they're kind of done. You got the what is it? The Christmas cactus. Okay. Cylindropuntia leptocaulus. So maybe it's Opuntia leptocaulus. I don't know, but it gets the little red berries on it. Bird dispersed, obviously, with that one. Let's check out this guy hanging on a fucking deer fence over here. Grass. This is everywhere. Real bad invasive grass. Okay. Melinus repens. Nattle grass. Okay. I believe it's from Africa or something. I don't know. It's kind of pretty at first, but then you see it fucking everywhere, and you see it taking over, and it becomes kind of a pain in the ass. But this is too bad. I can't find one of these guys flowering. This is Funastrum sinancoides. Look at that. It almost looks like a milkweed fruit. It's a follicle. Okay, a fruit with a bunch of seeds in it. Then they get the little coma. The coma is just that wind dispersed cottony shit up there. Okay, all milkweed seeds have a coma. Looks like a milkweed fruit. That's because it's related to them. It's close. It's in a Pasinaceae oleander family in the milkweed subfamily Asclepiodoideae, Funastrum sinancoides. And it gets a big, when it's blooming, and they were blooming a couple days ago, it gets a beautiful umbel, real nice milkweed umbel on it. Look at my nasty blister. I planted Taxodium mucranatum a couple days ago, and I burnt the shit out of my hand digging the fucking holes in the clay down here. But you could see it's taken over. I mean, the whole goddamn deer fencing, and that's why the fence is so tall, to keep the deer out, or keep the deer in rather. But look at all that habitat. Look at all that lovely habitat that no one's ever going to get to enjoy. Okay, I mean, people would probably ruin it if there was more public land anyway, but you know, it's a shame that a lot of people won't know about the diversity down here. There's some really fucking wonderful, look at the oaks back there. Look at that. You got crotons, you got 3 different species of Helianthus, you got the opuntias, the prickly pears back there, you got the xanthoxylon, you got the fucking Paleophoxia, the hooker Paleophoxia. What's up, hooker? I got nothing. I don't mean it like that, you know? Never mind. Let's keep going. Another DYC right here, Heterotheca subaxillaris. Look at the, you get a lot of Heterothecas in California too. Oh, this guy's glandular as hell. So glandular. You could see the glands on there. I could smell them from here. Okay? Got clasping leaves, no petiole on the leaves, no leaf stock. Okay? Not much in terms of a flower, just your typical DYC. Okay, look at the filaries, of course. You always want to get a pic of those filaries. Look at the residue left on my fingers from touching this oily bastard. Actually smells pretty good. Okay? Oh yeah, that smells real nice. You can see there's some that didn't bloom yet. Of course, you know, we get a Heterotheca, is, you know, telegraph weeds. There's one that's a very common species in California. Look at this guy down there. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Nice species of Acalypha. Okay, in the family Euphorbiaceae. Get a lot of cool Acalypha in the deserts out the Mojave Desert, Sonoran Desert. Okay, pretty weird inflorescence for a euphorbia. Okay, a bunch of tiny flowers in a kind of that, you know, cone-shaped inflorescence. Kind of like a little, I guess you call it a spike. Okay, it's covered in hair, of course, and here's the leaves. Kind of palmate with a bunch of different lobes on it. Okay, like 9 or 10 lobes it looks like. Okay, dissected palmate leaf right there. Almost kind of peltate too. Okay, just growing as a little ground cover, you know, amongst the Heterotheca and the damn grasses and what is that, cynodon? Oh fuck, that's a pain in the ass. That might be native, I don't know. Looks like a cynodon though. Oh yeah, there's seed of that Palifoxia. You could see the pappus in this case are those scales. See that? I'm gonna have to put some of these, collect some of these and put them in one of my little drug baggies to get the cops all excited next time they stop me, you know? Actually, I haven't been stopped in a long time, but now that I said it, maybe it'll happen, okay? It's okay, I don't mind, you know? If I got time, I don't mind. They can go through my stuff. If it gets them excited, you know, that's all fine with me. There you go. There's a better view of that, all those achenes. Technically Cypsela, since it's an inferior ovary. You could see the wind dispersed, so they got the scales up top.